Welcome to Keep Britain Biking with the special lockdown editions of our little maintenance top tip videos. It's a bit coronavirus-y still, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yeah.
So we're keeping the social distance.
Good 2 metres there, yeah,
2 metres.
at least.
And we've got hats to hide our
Lovely hair.
frankly shocking hair.
Because I'm worth it.
I think I might have put a bit of weight on.
I've definitely put weight on.
No, I couldn't. No, certainly not. Don't say it. Say it's not so.
No, I've put weight on.
Have you?
Yeah.
Half a stone? Quarter stone?
4 kilos, yeah. 3 or 4 kilos. 3 or 4 kilos, yeah.
Fucking hell. Well, in that case, it's even more important that you will look after our bikes to deal with all this extra weight.
Extra weight and strain, yes, definitely.
We're going to talk about chains today.
Yep.
Most motorbikes use chains to drive the rear wheel, and it's a weird thing, a chain, isn't it? Because I mean,
it does seem in the day of traction control and all these fancy electronics quite archaic.
It's simple. You can see what's happening, can't you? It's a metal chain. It drives the back wheel. But I think if you're an engineer for Mars, a Mars engineer, if you like, and you come down and you...
Don't they make chocolate bars?
I think they do make chocolate bars. And I think, you know, if you saw an R1 wheeling past you, you go, what's that? You got a chain at the back? Just sitting out in the rain and the mud and the grit, and it's quite a complex little piece of engineering.
It is.
It's got no protection at all.
No.
Sits out there. So they get a hard life chains.
They do get a very hard life, yeah, exactly. All sort of manner of road crap and rain and salt and everything they have to deal with, and they are, like you say, they're an engineered piece of
it's little plates, little bearings, little rollers, you know, and I mean the stress it's under is phenomenal. 200 horsepower on a big sports bike, all that torque going through it. So they need a bit of TLC, don't they?
They do, they really do. And it's one of the most neglected parts of a bike, really.
And if you don't look after it,
well, the best case scenario is you get stuck and you have to get a van out to take your bike. The worst case is it goes through the crankcase and your engine's knackered. So
takes your foot off at the calf.
Yeah, severed foot and a leaky crankcase.
Severed feet, man. Severed feet at this stage of the game.
No, you've already had coronavirus. That's
coronavirus and a severed foot. That would make even your hair seem like not such a bad thing.
No, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So look after your chain, because we don't want it to snap.
No.
Basically. I mean, it's not necessarily a safety thing. It's not an MOT fail unless it's really, really bad.
No.
The police aren't going to stop you. Well, they might stop you if it's hanging off.
But it's the sort of thing where lack of maintenance, it can cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
In terms of sprockets and chain.
Yeah.
It could cause you a load of aggro in terms of getting stuck.
Yeah.
Or it could even wreck your engine, and all for the sake of just, cleaning it,
a little bit of care,
adjusting it, and lubing it.
Okay. Lubing it's the most important part, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
If all those little bits of metal rubbing against each other, if you can get some sort of lubricant, unguent, sticky moisture in there.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to help it ride over itself.
Yeah, totally.
So, aerosol cans.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
Chain lube.
Yeah, and modern chain lubes are really good.
Yeah.
They used to be a bit hit and miss. A lot of them would be really super sticky, and then everything sticky on the road would stick to it and turn into a big grinding paste and be even worse than doing nothing. But the modern ones are really good now. So the aerosol sprays are kind of the way forward, really. Yeah.
Simple. The top tip is to do it when you come home for a ride. So the chains get warm.
Yeah, they get really hot.
Redders.
Yeah, like proper redders. Like
proper redders.
Seriously, if you wouldn't want to touch it. If you went for a long ride down the motorway, came in, you would not want to touch the chain when you got in. It'd be really hot.
Okay. Yeah. So when it's warm, spray the aerosol on.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got it on a stand here. You sort of turn the wheel.
Yeah, spray on the inside of the chain as well.
Okay. Yeah,
is the thing I'd always do. Some people say you can do either, but I think if you don't want a load of mess, is to well lubricate the inside of the lower run of the chain.
Yeah, and
then centrifugal force will spread it through the chain.
Okay. Yeah. Best to turn the wheel by hand. Don't do it in the engine because you can get your finger caught in the
and you don't want to get your finger in the sprocket of the chain.
Severed feet, severed fingers.
You've already lost your foot with it. Yeah, exactly. Man. You don't want to do that.
Come on.
No. Ugh. No.
Right. So aerosol can, lube carefully. That's it.
Yeah.
I just keep doing that.
Well, if you don't do anything else, you just do that, then yeah, fine, that's okay. But if you want your stuff to last, want your chain to last and the sprockets not to wear out too quick, you need to clean them as well.
Yeah, they're cleaning.
Otherwise, you're just putting lube on top of lube, on top of lube, on top of lube. And anybody who tell you who's taken this piece off to change the sprocket, when it's had 10 years or 3 years or whatever years worth of chain lube, it's just clag. It's disgusting. So yeah, lube it, but then periodically clean it and put more lube on. Yeah.
It's a bit of self-respect.
Yeah.
A bit of self-respect for your chain.
You wouldn't put deodorant on top of deodorant on top of deodorant and never shower, would you? We do know people
He's right,
who do
isn't
that.
he? He's right.
We do know people who do that. But anyway, yeah.
Poo.
Yeah.
So clean the chain, then lube it. Okay. I suppose the next thing after that is the amount of slack.
Yeah, definitely. Chain tension's really important.
So it's quite often it's in a sticker on the swing arm. It's not on this bike. It'll be in the owner's manual. You can phone the dealer at a push or look on the internet.
Yeah, I think a general rule of thumb on most bikes is 30 to 40 mil, but that's with a bit of load on it.
Yeah.
So it really does depend now, and with so many bikes around, with so many different amounts of suspension travel, and different length swinging arms and all the rest of it, it really does affect how tight the chain needs to be. So something like this will feel, when it's unloaded, will feel quite slack.
A bit more of a dirt bike, so there's more travel, so there's more space for the chain to tension over.
And some bikes will have chain tensioners, this one doesn't, but some will have chain tensioners which will
I think it does, look.
Oh, it does, yeah. Actually, it does. Yeah, but it's not a sprung one. That's just a roller.
Okay.
What I meant was a sprung one. So some of them have a sprung one. So even when it's quite slack, it will look tight. So you have to check it anyway.
Yeah.
So yes, chain tension very important, and also important to make sure when the suspension is fully compressed, it's not too tight as well.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Adjusting the chain tension, different on different bikes. I mean, this one has just got.
Yeah,
a little
very traditional kind of way of doing it with this, with a basically.
So there's a bolt and a lock nut, and you
basically extend or shorten the bolt depending on whether you want the wheel forward or back. Yeah,
as you move the bolt, it pushes the axle back.
Yeah.
Okay. Make sure you do both sides equally. There's little marks which sometimes they're inaccurate. But it's better than nothing. Make sure you do it the same on both sides. Yeah. Make sure it's all straight.
Usually when you're adjusting it, it's as well as looking at the markings. If you know you've turned it that much, say an eighth of a turn, then do the next one eighth of a turn the other side. Just keep doing them evenly until they're where you want them, sort of thing.
You'll probably need a torque wrench for the rear axle.
Yeah.
You loosen it and then tighten it to the proper torque again. So again straightforward.
Yeah. Some will be a nylock nut that you torque up. Some will be a castellated nut with a split thing. It depends. But again, if you're not sure, get someone who knows what they're doing to show you how to do it. But generally, it's the sort of thing that every biker should be able to adjust their chain tension. Really, I think.
Okay. We've got this bike on a paddock stand, makes it easier for chain maintenance. If you get a centre stand, obviously use that.
Days, yeah.
Centre stand it makes it even easier. You just want to get it up in the air and be able to move the wheel to lube the chain and adjust the tension more freely. How do we know when the chain's had enough?
You often get tight spots in the chain, which you usually notice when you're trying to adjust it. So you'll try and adjust your chain and you'll think, oh, that's a bit slack. I'll tighten it up, and then you'll turn the wheel half a turn, and all of a sudden it's like a piano wire.
It's important to check the chain slack at a few points.
Yeah, definitely. Don't just check the tension in one point. Don't just sort of go, yeah, that's fine. You need to, move the wheel around, check it again, and sometimes you'll find that it's, it will be a bit tight in one place.
Okay. Sprockets. They come in a set, really, don't you? When you change the chain, you should really change the sprockets.
Yeah, definitely.
And you should keep an eye on the sprockets for wear as well. If you look at the back one, it starts to get hooked.
Yeah, they kind of hook. The front one will as well. They both sort of hook a bit.
The side of the chain's pulling against, if you like.
Yeah, it's that acceleration side that's pulling on it in the same spot all the time. It kind of makes them look hooked, and it's usually easy to spot. I mean, depending on what you're doing, if you're just road riding and it's mostly clean and it's you'll often hear a noise, or you'll just feel that the drivetrain doesn't feel very good. Yeah. It's hard to explain it, but you'll just know it just doesn't feel
good. Feels rough, doesn't it?
Exactly. It's like a rough feeling. It'll sound rough before anything slips or before anything goes wrong.
Usually you don't notice it till you put a new chain on and you think, oh, my bike's lovely.
Yeah, it quietens it right down. Yeah.
My bike's so smooth.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, even the best looked after chain is still going to wear out. So how do you know when it's finally come to the end? I suppose you get to the end of the adjustment.
Yeah, it's a good question, because if you have kept it clean and well oiled and you've looked after it, it will look all shiny and spot on and all the rest of it. There won't be any tight spots because you've made sure that you've looked after it. But you're right, it will get to a point where it stretches and stretches and stretches and stretches, and you'll keep adjusting it. Yeah. So how do you know the point when it's about to go snap and cause a massive problem? Well, what you do is, you'll see on this bike, it's brand new, there's no movement in there. Not really. I can't pull it off the back of the sprocket. There's very little side-to-side movement. Obviously there's some. A really worn chain, there'll be a lot of slack that way, and you'll be able to pull it off the back of the sprocket all the way around.
Even when the tension's correct, the space between the pins is growing, so it'll pull off the back of the sprocket.
Exactly that, so it'll just pop off the back. So it's quite an easy way to check. Okay.
Sometimes the adjusters have got a mark to show that you're at the limit as well.
Yeah.
Hondas used to do that a lot, didn't they?
Yeah,
So those are the things to look for.
definitely.
So that's that.
Yeah.
Chains, lube them, clean them, check their slackness.
Love them, look after them.
Look after them. And if you can't be bothered with any of that, then you should just buy a shaft drive bike.
And a pipe and some slippers.
I like a pipe.